Well, we have gathered here today. Now, this ain't church. This is just a podcast. Hey, now we're going to talk about combating the girl dad bod. Dad bod is definitely a thing. It's all over the internet. People think it's sexy. Some people don't. There's memes about it. About if you're fit, you can't hold your kid on your stomach. That's definitely a thing that applied to my dad. He definitely had a stomach that he could hold the grandkids on as well.
That's right.
uh, I go through different stages in life. Sometimes I'll have it, sometimes I don't. But actually, it's more about being healthy than it is anything else. And science as well as life has proven that when you have excess body fat, you're not the healthiest that you could be. So we're going to dive into getting a plan to combat that girl dad bod with just a few practical steps. We're not going to turn into professional bodybuilders. We're not going to get all big and bulky, and we're not going to work out for 18 hours a day. Just some
That's right.
practical steps that'll get us in the right direction. So, Colton, won't you lead us out on that?
Right, right. Yeah, more than happy to help you out. So step number one, you got to work out for 19 hours a day instead of 18. That's step number
I
one.
see. I knew I was doing it wrong. I was only working out for 17 and a half.
Yep. So we got to do 19 hours and you'll be golden. No, anyways, step number one is what I like to recommend to my clients is drink a gallon of water if possible. That is the easiest thing to do. It just helps with flushing some, um, bad fluids that you don't need, and inflammation helps just with that as well. It also protects your joints whenever you are working out, along with supplementation, which is another practical step later on down the road. So that is what I recommend for step number one. Step number two is just
Wait, just a
walk.
minute there. Step number one. Now, is there a better water? I know there's distilled water, there's filtered water, there's pure water, there is spring water. Is there a particular water that is generally all around good, not just for everyday drinking like this, like you're talking about?
I would say anything. I mainly use spring water is what I have right there. Kroger spring water.
Hmm.
Hashtag not an ad. That is what I typically use, just because I feel like it has less chemicals in there. Because whenever you have tap water, it does have some of the chemicals and stuff in there to make it clean, because it is in a mixture with other people's sewers, is what I would like to say, and water lines and stuff like that, the nasty stuff.
Right.
Um, you can do the alkaline waters. That's more that sometimes they've added in, they purified it down and added in some electrolytes and do that to balance the pH scales for your body. I just typically recommend spring water. I think it's the best. It tastes the best. You can do purified drinking water. It is what it is. It's purified, but it also has some chemicals in there as well. So it just depends on what you prefer. Basically, it's just drink water. That's all it is. I mean, just drinking water will just help you in general. It doesn't matter what type of water. At the end of the day, you just need to drink water. And I would say about I'd say start out with a half gallon if you can't make that gallon push. I typically, for newcomers and beginners, I typically recommend a half gallon because it's the easiest. That's like 4 or 5 bottles, 20-ounce bottles a day. That's easy. One bottle for each meal, or 2 bottles for each meal, and you're halfway to a gallon. The ideal is a gallon a day, though, because it just helps you get energy, helps your metabolism, and all that type of stuff to help fight off the girl dad bod and dad bod in general.
Right. Now, I'm later on in life, so I'm approaching 47 years old, and if I drink that much water, I need to have a cutoff. Is there a certain recommendation of how many hours or minutes before bedtime you want to cut that off so that you're not waking up three times a night?
Um, I don't that I don't typically have a recommendation. I would say whenever I stop drinking water, I don't have the issue of going up a lot. Not until I get into contest prep and get like 6 weeks out to where I'm going to the bathroom every 2 hours and just not getting sleep. Typically, I would say you could probably do with about an hour and a half before bed. Um, is probably what I would say before you want to cut off any water. But honestly, I think once your body gets used to it, it'll adjust to you drinking that much water and holding it. Typically, what I do is even whenever I travel for work, I've got a 4-hour drive, and I stop at least twice, if not, depending on the day, 3 times. Is I just don't drink hardly any water in the morning, and I just simply like chug it the last hour and a half of the drive to work and stuff like that whenever I make visits.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like that's a great first step because everybody has access to water that I know of. Everybody
Okay.
should have access to water. If not, I apologize for assuming. But yeah, so water with what you got. So great,
Yep.
great, great. So moving on, practical step number 2 to combat girl dad bod or just dad bod in general.
Yes. Step number 2 is easy enough. Is just walking. It's just getting up and walking. The NEAT, which is non-exercise activity, is just you want to increase that as much as possible. So what that means is whenever you're sitting down, you want your body just to be burning calories, and not say burning fat, because you calories in, calories out is what it boils down to. But you want to be able to sit down where you're burning calories and just energy metabolism just firing by you just sitting down. That's what the ideal goal is, because probably about more than 50% of the U.S. has office jobs or remote jobs these days, since the lovely 2020 disaster, is that they are sitting down. That's probably
Right.
the number one issue with most
Makes me want to stand up right now.
they are sitting down, and they sit down for 8 to 12 hours a day, and then they might do the 1 hour of working out for the top percentile. But the ultimate goal is probably get out at least, I would say, 8 to 10,000 steps a day. I shoot for 10 to 12 just because I'm a little bit more active. And I thoroughly enjoy this, and I want to take my body to the next level. But for the average Joe, I would say probably around 8,000 steps minimum to 10,000 steps, and that's super easy to do. So, recommendation on doing that is after you eat, is just go for a 10 to 15-minute walk. If it's somewhere warm like Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and all the South states, or even like California, Vegas, Arizona, any of those. I mean, a 10 to 15-minute walk throughout the year after each meal, you're easily going to get in a mile or to 3 miles in a day just by walking, depending on how fast you walk is also. So if you're lucky enough to even buy a treadmill while you work at home, you're going to buy a standing and walk and do that. So
Right.
that's pretty good. That's practical step number 2 is just walking. It's just to help your metabolism, and also helps with digestive system as well. If you take a 10 to 15-minute walk after you eat, it helps digest your food, and therefore it gets into your body. Your body starts burning the food you just ate, and next thing you know, within the next 2 hours, you're hungry again.
Right. Right. What was the? I know that with water intake, you're using the bathroom more, so that's going to be some steps as well, but not the steps you're kind of talking about. Is there a practical outline? Like, is it better to walk 60 minutes in one setting or break that down into 4 15-minute settings? I know there's a lot of people that hit the afternoon dip, the crash right after lunch or whatever. And I know that it's, the internet, I'll say, has suggested possibly to get up when you feel that, drink a glass of water and go for a walk. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm all for that. Whenever you start to feel, even based on my experience, whenever I have been in contest prep and food's been low, I start to feel a little tired, and I drink some water, and I go outside and for a walk, and it has helped me. It's boosted my energy, and it's not saying where I'm like, can go for a 10-mile run, but it's helped me survive for the next 2 or 3 hours till it's time to eat, to that way my body can use the food for fuel. So I agree with that completely. Is if you just drink a bottle of water whenever you're tired, that's already counting towards your water goal. Every single water. So back on the water thing, is even water like using your protein shake, that you're just using water. So if you use water, that counts. If doing like water flavors, that counts as well. Anything with the water base counts as water and liquid technically, to help into your body. So caffeine, energy drinks, they actually take out the water. They take out the water from you and make you go to the bathroom, and they take out the salt, which is another practical step down the road.
Well, that was my next point. Is I just finished off the second one of these 20-ounce coffees, so I got 40 ounces of water in me. I'm well on my way, but then you just kind of let me know that the caffeine in that water is now taking out the minerals that I need. So
Right, yeah.
I won't talk about that.
So coffee is actually used in contest prep for a diuretic. It helps one with the caffeine in your body to get going, but also makes you flush out any liquids as well. And so that's often used as we'll say diuretic, but it's not essentially a diuretic. It's just used for the same form to help flush out the water and get you, a little bit leaner. So if you ever notice what you go use the bathroom, you're about 2 or 3 pounds lighter, that's why.
That actually is the thing. You can weigh before, and if it's been a while since you went and you use the bathroom, and then you can weigh afterwards, it will definitely, that's a weight loss program.
Right.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I think number one was very practical. Number two, basically be active. What's the number three practical step for combating the girl dad bod that you got for us today?
Number three is, I would say, food. It's probably the most.
I love that. I love food.
Honestly, probably the most important, besides water and getting active. I know getting water and active are the two easiest by far, because you can just eat a cheeseburger and fries and then turn around and go for a 10 to 15-minute walk, and that sucker will be digested at some point. But number three is the food, is the type of food that you eat. Now, we have in our bodybuilding world the most famous YouTuber right now called Sam Sulik. Now, he is doing good at what he does. It's working for, do I recommend that? Absolutely not. The reason being is because, for one, he's 21 or 22, and he does have good genetics, but he's able to process a lot faster. And more than likely, the girl dads or the dad bods are a little bit older, like in the 35 to 40 range, depending on how old your kids are, or they could even be like myself, where I have a son and I'm about to turn 27. Which is still not 21 or 22. So things do slow down as you get older. But I would recommend with the quality of food. That's my main thing, is the quality of food. Now, when I say quality, I'm not asking you to get organic chicken, organic beef, because the honest opinion is I went to go pick up 96.4 ground beef today. The sucker was $8 just for a little small package. It's just financially, it's just not a smart move. But the type of quality for what you can afford is what you need to go for. So just a standard pack of chicken breast. Instead of eating fried chicken, get a chicken. You can literally by the time you buy 2 grilled chickens from probably Wendy's or Chick-fil-A in the bigger cities, you could have already bought an entire, package of family-sized chicken breasts from Walmart. And then you can just make your own chicken breast. It's like I said, it's the quality. They're not going out to eat as much. Just, helps save money as well. So instead of eating that burger and fries, something that you could do is you can still have a burger and fries, but you could have lean beef, get some sort of Dave Killer Bread hamburger bun, and make sweet potato fries, and you still have your burger and fries, and it's going to probably be about 600 calories less, because it's the quality of food that you're eating, which is probably the main thing, is calories in, calories out. It doesn't matter what type of food, it's the same. But it's the quality of food and how you look is what will show on your body and your physique.
So basically, junk in, junk out.
You could do that, but you're going to look like junk.
That's what I'm saying. If you consume junk, you're not going to get the results that you're really looking for.
Right.
If you can't put down the chocolate chip cookies, or if you continue to eat, I can't even think right now because of all the things I want to eat. So if you do the fried chicken, you do the fast food, you do the convenience, the easy way out, as opposed to actually developing a plan and sticking to it, then you're not going to get the results that you want. And again, we're not going for show quality. If that's your thing, absolutely. What we're talking about right now is the practical steps to combat to be anti dad bod, you know. And I think there's more to it, and we will definitely have to get together at a different time and discuss the more steps, the more practical steps. But I think 3 is a good place to start. So remember, drink water. Start with what you're comfortable with, and work up to a gallon. Spring water recommended, but distilled or whatever you have access to. Number 2, be active. Go for a walk. That is the biggest thing, as we are definitely a community that sits a lot when we're watching YouTube videos. I'm just playing. Please sit here and watch this video while you're walking, and then
Yes.
be active, right? And be active throughout the day. And the final one is your the level of quality of food. So yeah, I think that's all great, valid points. I know that my weight has been able to be manageable with just slightly meal prepping. I'm not going to go down the path of all that I eat and it's in individual containers, but I did pick this up from you. I prepare ahead. So I'll cook a pack of chicken. I'll cook 3 to 4 cups of rice. I'll have some vegetables sautéed up, and so I'll do a little bit of rice, a little bit of vegetables, put the chicken on the top. If you just can't do chicken, get some salsa, do some light seasonings. Careful of the sodium content. As a 40-something-year-old, careful of the sodium content and the type of sodium. But we'll get into that later in a different episode.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have any final expressions, final thoughts before we end it for today?
So on the last point, as far as the food is, if you prepare throughout the week, you work 5 days, 6 days a week. If you are able to eat clean those 5, 6 days, then the 1 day or 2 days you go out with your family is not going to matter as a average Joe. It's not going to matter. It allows you that free space, the free, like, oh, I can eat a nice greasy burger and fries because I've been eating a clean burger and fries throughout the week. So it allows you.
Okay.
It's something that's helped me, is once you get to a point in your body where your body's just firing off, the weekend meals, the 1 or 2 weekend meals don't really matter because your body's just burning through those. And in 2 to 3 hours, you've got your ordinary food. You continue with your food throughout the day and you're good. So that's probably my final thought is, just drink water, move around, eat good quality food, healthy food, substitute out for the right type of food, and you'll be on your way.
Yeah, those are all great practical tips. And that final thought of yours, whoo man, don't stress out if you miss a meal. Just
Right.
the very next time, get back to it. Don't be so hard on yourself. This is a journey, like a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm using all the cliche phrases.
Hey, it's a very cliche industry. I'll say that. I mean, it's very simple. It's people make it a lot harder than what it needs to be, and it's just not that way.
Right. Yeah, that's great stuff. I appreciate you coming out and sharing your thoughts and your wisdom with us today. I look forward to when we can make time to do it again. And again, everybody, this is Colten Durrance, personal trainer and bodybuilding enthusiast, who happens to be my nephew. So look him up on his YouTube channel. He's got some great videos out there, some pointers on how to get your fitness on. So thanks for joining us today. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk